All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah, Quadash, double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Shouts out to all the sincere elect out there. Alright, coming back at you with another lesson. So, rumors of wars, man. What we're dealing with right now is the rumors, the propaganda, the problem, reaction, solution. CNN News, I was watching that last night, and gonna touch on some of these rumors or noise or propaganda. First, let's check out the word propaganda. The title of this video is going to be something to that effect. Propaganda says information, especially of a based or misleading nature, used to promote a political cause or point of view. The word propaganda, and that's how wars start. I was trying to remember that word propaganda. It's similar to when you slander or make up something, lies, rumors. Very similar to all those familiar. All those words are familiar. Rumors, propaganda, lies, slander, and that's what we see right now take place. When I was just watching the news last night, when I heard some of it's probably true, because we know that they're saying the wave of attacks against Israel will go on until all night, and they were showing the missiles going over Israel and the people's reactions. That's to stir an emotion in the watchers, the civilians, to stir up emotions of us, the ones that know some stuff or don't know nothing. But it's really to stir up the emotions of the people so that they can because really this is the beginning. WW3 ain't gonna kick off until the MOTB. So they want to cause that problem, reaction, solution. We make mention of that a lot. Hello, I'm filming. Yeah, I'm filming. Yeah. So we talk about that a lot, and yeah, guy just come up and he just said hello. Well, you got hikers they be coming through. Sometimes you get them old school hikers. They know their stuff somewhere, them ones with when you see them old school hikers getting on in age with some of them, they have their rods, their sticks, hiking sticks, their rucksacks. One just came up and said hello. Being nosy though, but So that's just the propaganda is all the same as the lies, the rumors, the noise. Isaiah 13, Matthew 24, talking about the noise, the rumors of wars, nations against nations, kingdoms against kingdom. That's what we're seeing right now. So we've gone into the word propaganda. It means when you start something to get an attention, to get the attention. In this case, it's the propaganda. That's the getting the attention. In the heat, they're throwing these missiles over and getting through the some of them got through the Iron Dome, but a lot of people are definitely injured. When you look at the stats, 124 deleted so far and rising in different parts. I've done the video yesterday. I went into some of the stats. Lord willing, we get into Lord willing, we know that this ain't gonna kick off WW3 until the MOTB. Jacob's Trouble's here. As we can see, Jacob's Trouble is here. It's going to build, but it's here because we're hearing about the LA incidents. People getting grabbed up. You could be walking down the street. If you don't look right, if your face don't fit your brand, you might be any of the tribes. And I heard that from the brothers who be living over there. Could be any of the tribes. You could just look like, one of their northern tribe, and you can get grabbed up. If you're too light skinned, you can just get grabbed up. So we're all under that situation where we just got to pray and stay in our lane and continue to pray. And I mean, all the other things that keep us strong, man, like getting into the Hebrew prayers, right? The reading and the meditating and putting these things into action. So this is what we're talking about right now. This is propaganda. The word propaganda, we looked at that yesterday. It's just starting something, right? Before you kick something off, you got to make up lies. You got to make it all up just to get a reaction. And then people get scared. And as we can see here, this is propaganda, the wave of attacks against Israel. And it was all last night. I was watching some of it last night. They was talking about a lot of the Iranians. They hit one of the Iranian state television, right? And you could see a woman actually getting into her broadcast. And while she was talking, she heard it in the background, and she could see this look on her face like, this is Armageddon. It's Armageddon for them. It's the end for them. So it hit one of the televisions. One of the bombs hit one of the television while in the midst of the broadcast. This is real. So they make sure that they put all this out to cause the problem, right? And the scare, the reaction, people to be all panicked up. And then the MOTB, people gonna wanna be tagged and bagged as far as they see to be safe, right? All around the world, they're gonna make this mandatory, the MOTB. But right now we're seeing the propaganda. We looked at the word propaganda. So I looked at the word propaganda. I want to look at an example of propaganda. It says, some of the most famous examples of propaganda are the political posters that were used during the Second World War. These posters were designed to encourage men to join the army and to encourage women to take jobs in factories. Yeah. So there had to be a reason for them to join the army, obviously. Skirmishes were taking place. The Second World War, the First World War, the example of the First World War, 1914, and then the Second World War around 1938 up until around 1945. Started around late 1938 with the bombing of Pearl Harbor. But things had to be happening for people, for the propaganda to be circulating around, the rumors, right? That would have been their reaction. And then the solution. Right now we're seeing the propaganda. So the title of this video is Prophecy, Propaganda, which is really problem, reaction, solution. And here's some propaganda. I just got a little clip of some of the news from the this was breaking news last night of CNN. Something that Trump tweeted. He said, Iran should have signed the deal. I told them to sign. What a shame and waste of human life, right? This is what Trump put up on one of these tweets. One of his this is all goes into the propaganda. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Right, that's what he said. He said it over and over again. Right. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. That's what Trump said. This is adding to the propaganda. Right, you're telling another country not to have nuclear weapons when you got the two biggest possessions of nuclear weapons, Russia and US. You got the other countries that are coming up, China, Pakistan, India. And I wanted to find something out, how many countries, Lord willing, I could get into some more of doing some research and fact checking. But I found out when I just done a little bit of check, how many countries have nuclear weapons. It mentions 9. Yeah, at the present, they're saying, it says, Google says, at the present, there are 9 countries in the world that possess nuclear weapons. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can get a little bit more information on that. How many countries at present possess nuclear weapons? Right, yep, it's giving me here the response to Google. Currently, 9 countries are known to possess nuclear weapons. They are Russia, the United States, China, France, and the United Kingdom, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. Right, India and Pakistan just went at it for the very same reason. Intimidation, usually propaganda, and not wanting your neighborhood country to possess nuclear weapons. Going back to what that tweet, that the propaganda, the tweet of Trump. Yeah, Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, and that's one of the main things. A lot of things taking place. A lot of the tweeting, Trump be doing that emotional tweeting. There's another thing that they make sure they put out as well. They're talking about, they interviewed the father of an American missing in Syria, right? And they interviewed the parents, putting out a plea. So that's going to add more to the problem reaction solutions. We need to do something. How dare you kidnap one of our Americans? They say he was reporting. He was reporting in Syria, so he went missing. Was he reporting? Right, parents of American who disappeared in Syria 12 years ago. Right, so they put them on the news for people to, get emotional and want. We should do something. So this all adds to the propaganda. Now we're going to hit some precepts. We know very well Esau's go-to. Let's hit it in Genesis 25, because you talk about Esau's gift. A lot of his drones. They got all these unmanned craft. I was watching one of these documentaries about Esau's war machines. They gave the example of an unmanned helicopter that can just seek and destroy out, drug cartels and the boats that be shipping drugs, through the borders and trying to, they can seek out all illegal crimes. These are unmanned helicopters, and they call it fire. The helicopter's called Fire Outcast, something to that effect. This is just one of his gifts. So Genesis 27, talking about his gift. His gift is propaganda. His gift is, we're going to get into it. So Genesis 25 and 38 says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. All right. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of the heaven from above. Yeah. That's Job 9 and 24. The whole earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. So he's talking about giving Isaac, right? And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. That's his father talking to Esau. Of the earth and the dew of the heaven from above. And by thy sword thou shalt live and shalt serve thy brother. So by the sword, and that's the gift that goes into all the technology. We're hearing about the technocracy right now. The power is moving over into the technocracy, which are going to be handed over total control with the Elon Musk and his 24 techies in the White House, soon to take over, which they're probably controlling most of it already. The AI, the technocracy, technologies, and just another word for technology or technocracy, technology rule. So it's just another word for technology that is in control, technocracy. And technocrats is the people that are just highly understand technology. They call them technocrats. So that's Elon Musk and his 24 croonies that we made mention of earlier in the year. And I've done a video on called The Lunatics Have Taken Over the Asylum. So these are the technocrats that are running the asylum, and they're soon going to have full control. Hence we're going to hear more about these 15-minute cities, right? Which is just a government control, a tyrannic rule by a government, controlled by the AI and everything controlled by, for the most part, AI or technocracy, government rule. So let's carry on reading. And by thy sword of Genesis 27 and 40, and by thy sword thou shalt live and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right? Future prophecy. So we're talking about the propaganda. That's one of his blessings. Propaganda, technocracy, technology. Right now, the AI. Let's hit some more precepts to go into Esau's gift, because this is about Esau and his gift, what he's wielding right now. Isaiah 54 and 16 says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. The smith is the one that makes those intercontinental ballistic missile, and many, just to name a few. There's a lot. That's just part of his gift. Yeah, the coals. So that's the smith. You got all different types of smith, and this is the one we're talking about, the smith that, as it's saying here, behold, I've created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. That's that smith, right? Talking about the smith that creates that waster, which goes back to the gift that was given to Esau, the technology, the sword, the modern day sword. I made mention of the that, which I was quite impressive what he has, what they're showing what he has at the moment, but doesn't compare nothing to what we've got, our big brothers have, right? The spiritual chariots, what they call UFOs or UAPs, doesn't compare. But he's giving them a little something, right? Just to make them be proud and be puffed up and think that they got it going on, just to bring them down, as it says in Genesis 27, only to be in his prime. Let me read it again. Let's go back to it. Genesis 27 and 40. And by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass by that sword. The modern day sword is the gun, right? And all the AI now, the technocracy, the technology, the drones, the missiles, all the different types of missiles, right? There's a whole different he has a variety of the gifts today. It's all been souped up. It's really just a souped up sword, right? With the gun and the souped up gun, which is all the different types of gun weaponry that they got. You know what I mean? Heat sensors, lasers that can seek out and destroy, unmanned drones, unmanned helicopters. Right, so this is his modern day sword, souped up sword. Come to pass, when thou shalt have their dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right, when he's in his prime, as we know, when he's about to get his full his belly, right, the WW3, new, the new NWO, right? We know that. Right? That's when they feel they're gonna fill their belly, the NWO, right? Most are gonna broke them down. It says there that thou shalt break his yoke, gonna get broke up from off thy neck, and that's gonna come from Yahshua Allah, right? Ezekiel 25, by the hands of my people. I think it's 25, or it might be 35. So it's gonna come by the hands of my people. Ezekiel 25. So because of the blood that they shed. So that's the future prophecy for these wicked, right? So he's giving them the smith, the weapons, right? The smith that creates these weapons, Isaiah 54 and 17. But no weapon that is formed against thee. I'll read 16 again. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and have created the waster to destroy. But hence, in 17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. Right, so that's part of what we're talking about right now. The gift is the propaganda, which, let's hit another precept to back up what we're talking about. The propaganda, the technocracy, all the souped up guns, AI, and another one. Psalms 55, this ain't got to be a long video. The point is made. Psalms 55 and 20 says, he hath put forth his hands against such that be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Right? How did he break his covenant? 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Yeah, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn sword. The modern day sword. That's another form of weaponry. This modern day sword, which is speaking smoothly, which goes into lying, deceit, and what we're talking about now, prophecy, propaganda, right? And that is a powerful weapon because that stirs people's emotions, and then people want to get physical. Hence why bombs are taking place, going over right now over Israel and Iran. That what's going on between them is because of the propaganda. Something Trump be tweeting, something Trump be tweeting, telling they shouldn't have no Iran shouldn't have no nuclear weapons. That's propaganda. What we're talking about here. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, right? Nero, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were drawn swords. So that shows you that smooth words like butter is just another form of gift, Esau's gift, which is the modern day sword, the propaganda. And he's used that all throughout his time. When we look into Genesis 27, how he's got his power, how he's got the earth under his control, he used that propaganda, right? And here's the last one to back up the point. Propaganda. He's used that propaganda, and it's given him what he's wanted: power, dominance over the whole earth. The earth has been given unto the hands of the wicked, Job 9:24. That's how effective that propaganda is at the moment. But there's no weapon that is formed against us shall prosper, right? Psalms 58:3 says, the wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Lies, another word for propaganda. Keeping people subdued, right? Being in their countries. Habakkuk 2 goes into that. He doesn't keep at home. He's over in other countries with his superior technology, the modern day sword, the military bases, running things, keeping people subdued by his propaganda, his lies. Right? The wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, speaking propaganda. So that's what we understand, and that's what we know. But a lot of people don't. Hence why the emotions are taking place with the problem, reaction, solution. So the problem, reaction, solution behind that, the root of that is propaganda. Lies, right? They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So that means even the youth them come out with propaganda, lying, even the youths. And there's no such thing as white lies. You understand? Lies, wicked lies bring trouble, right? It starts small and it gets big. That's how he's been gone throughout the earth and had dominance all around the earth. Talking about the East, the so-called white man. They've gone around the whole earth and dominated the whole earth with their modern day sword, propaganda, aka lies. So this is going to make the point. We're going to end with this one, Revelation 18:21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it unto the sea. And this is what's going to happen to Babylon. It's talking about Babylon, and that great millstone is Yahushua, right? Hence backed by his 144,000 elect. And yeah, you can say the great millstone too, because it really represents truth, and it crushed. And as we know, Yahushua, he represents that stone. It goes into in Daniel's 2:44, which crushed all those other kingdom, and this new kingdom coming in now. It's coming in now, right? We're hearing about the wars, the rumors of wars, the propaganda. First, the MOT has to be made mandatory, and then the wars, the rumors of war, the skirmishes, and then Yahushua going to come and put the icing on the cake. And he's going to end all. Yahushua going to come and return and end all wars, end arguments. By what? Saying thus, with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So they've gone around the world with their violence, aka what they're doing right now, the propaganda, right? As we saw what's happening with the back and forth with Iran and Israel. It started with the propaganda, and Yahushua going to come. What they're doing, how they're going to end, they brought their power in, they used that violence, and they've kept people subdued with that violence, which we're talking about right now. Propaganda is violent. So, Kala Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. So they went up with violence, they brought their power, They got people subdued by their violence, that propaganda. And I know I keep saying it, but it's just what it is. It's the title of this video. Prophecy, propaganda, which just goes into problem, reaction, solution. So they brought it, everybody subdued under their control with violence, and thus with violence, which we're talking about in the scriptures. And we're not going to get physical in way of a disclaimer. I'm just reading the scriptures. We're talking about what you Christians call Jesus. He's going to come and he's going to pay you back, right? That goes into no, it's Isaiah 63. As a matter of fact, let me end with that one. Let's end on a good note. So you came into power with violence, and we're going to end with the last one. Because, yeah, Job 9:24, the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And the judges are his people, right? The prophets, right? And the true men of the law, the kings that reigned, right? Hence why they did the whitewashing of all the they call it the Renaissance period, all the whitewashing of all the true paintings, the Russian icons. So that's how they cover the faces of the judges, thinking that they was going to get away with it. But ultimately, let's read to end it. Isaiah 63 and 1 says, Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling the greatness of his strength, and strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Where art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garment like him treadeth the winepress, right? So yeah, man, I have trodden the winepress, right? Because they brought up their kingdom, they built their kingdom, the foundation on the propaganda, the modern day sword, the technocracy, and all the souped up technology, which you got all the different types of missiles. So that's how they was brought up into power. Hence all those kingdoms. But what happened to all those kingdoms? Just like all the others, the ancient Babylonians, the ancient Medes and the Persians, the Grecians, the ancient Romans were brought down. Wherefore thou art red in thine apparel, thy garments like him that treadeth in the winepress. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury. Yeah, Revelation 18:21. So the Most High says, yeah, you're going to go out. You came up a certain way with violence. How you going to go out? For I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my remnant. And that's talking, that's not literal. That's talking in metaphorical terms. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, because really he's going to be shooting lasers from the chariots. He made mention of the powerful technology that cannot be compared. The powerful chariots, right? The eyes of the Lord, or his angels, right? That he uses, that go throughout the earth, and that's what be causing the propaganda. Hence the left-hand side angels, as well as the right-hand side angels, right? So that's what's causing propaganda, which is all stirred up because I made mention of Yahushua. The host of armies is a man of war yesterday. So I'm laying backing off of that. Yahushua, the host of armies, because he's stirring everything up, is a man of war, right? So he uses the sword. Esau, Psalms 17 talks about the sword. And right now, that's what he's using. Esau and the propaganda, that one of Esau's gift, the sword and all the modern day technology and technocracy. So by violence, they was risen into power, right? So let's get back to Isaiah 40:33. By violence, they was brought up into power. 4 says, For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeem is come. And they're going to go out same way they came up. thus with violence. And yeah, once again, disclaimer, this is all going to come by the hands of what you Christians call Jesus. Him, Yahushua, going to lead the charge. Yahushua and his host of armies, which again, he is a man of war. So they're using their gift, and they're going to continue to use their gift, right, to fulfill the Most High's prophecy, right, which we're looking forward to it. And we got a couple more to be fulfilled before the grand finale, right? The MOTB has to be fulfilled first, and we know that. So we just wanted to, in way of reminder, yeah, this is hot off the press, man. Propaganda is hot right now, flowing, running through the earth. So the Wadiel Bashim Shai, just wanted to make mention of that. Esau's gift, propaganda, and went into the prophecies and the ultimate return of Yahushua, and the same way they went up, right? Because what goes up must come down. The same way they went up, the same way they're going to come down. Thus saith the Bible, thus saith Yahuwah Yahushua, written in prophecy. Until the next one.